Maybe you can. Welcome to the Writing Games, the greatest trick I've ever pulled on myself. My name's Tyson Gussman, I'm a stand-up comedian, and this is how I gamify creativity. Let's do it. Every day I roll this cool D20 that my roommate gave me, thanks Josh, and that gives me one of 20 prompts that I then write jokes about for 5 minutes. Once the 5 minutes have elapsed, I tally up points. One for every line that I wrote, and then bonus points for all of the laughs, chuckles, chortles, guffaws, tee-hees, and giggles. I keep track of all my points in this notebook, and when I get to 1,000, I throw a big party. It's of course my favorite kind of party, a comedy show, where me and a bunch of my friends get together and tell jokes we've written exclusively over the course of the 1,000-point interval. I started this whole thing because I realized there was a problem with the way that I thought about creativity. Maybe you're like me. I kind of thought of creativity as happening in one of two ways. Either it happens all at once when you're struck by the muse, which is why like in high school I'd carry around this little guy all the time so I can catch it, I can catch the muse. Or it happens because you're disciplined and every day you sit down and you work. So like in college, I would sit down every day with this magical tome and I would write jokes for 15 minutes. But those frames don't really work for me. Like, I don't control the muse, right? So in that sense, I don't really get to choose to be a comedian. Like, comedy has to like choose me, which then essentially means that you can't get better at it. So then the other hand is discipline, which is just too hard. We've all experienced the streak phenomenon, right? Where you're motivated to keep doing something because the number of days in a row you've done it keeps getting higher. But then as soon as you miss a day, it works against you, right? It works backwards because the higher the number was, the more intimidating that goal is to get to it again. So it just becomes impossible to continue being disciplined. So there's the rub, right? Inspiration is random, but I want to be able to improve. And discipline helps me improve, but ultimately it's too difficult to stay motivating. And this should be fun. I'm writing jokes. This should be fun. And that made me think, what if it was fun? What if instead of a job, it was a game? So that's what I'm sort of doing here. I've hijacked the structure of my brain to make something that's fun, it's motivating, it's habit forming, and I think it makes me a better joke writer. But oh hey Tyson, how does it work? So glad you asked. I actually drew a lot of inspiration for this from the folks over at Roll from Sandwich on TikTok, and also from these writing prompt books that me and my mom always give each other. Thanks, Mom. So I combined those ideas and I came up with 20 places to start a joke. Call these prompts or games, whatever. Like this is the silly goose fodder. Now these prompt books are fun, but they ultimately fail to be motivating for me because there's no reward that you can anticipate, and I need a little treat. You can always hope for a good piece of writing, but if today's not my day, then I'm not particularly interested in doing it again tomorrow. So in order to beat this problem, I had to create a structure that rewards the act of writing itself. So that's why I get 1 point for every line that I write in the 5-minute span. Not only does it make the writing itself motivating, but I find the time pressure also kind of frees me from the idea that I have to make something perfect, because nothing makes me less creative than that. Editing can wait. We gotta pour before we pluck, right? Anyways, this structure helps me a lot because, as you know, the way to become a better writer is by writing. And so I reward myself for doing that. In addition, the goal of my writing is to make people laugh, so I give myself bonus points whenever I make me laugh. And I found that over time, this kind of tunes my brain to move more quickly towards what I find funny. It's cool. It's like a feedback loop of goofiness, a goof loop, if you will. Oh, and then to build on specific structures of jokes that I use, I made a bonus round where I roll this D6, thanks again, Josh, for one of 6 types of jokes that I write in. And then I have 2 minutes to make myself laugh as many times as I can. No points for lines, just laughs. It's a high stakes riff round. And I find that that just helps my brain think of how I can make this joke jokier. So all of that is how it works on the daily, right? But then I need to be building towards a goal. Otherwise I end up with the cookie clicker problem. I don't know if you ever played cookie clicker, but basically it's fun for as long as it's fun to watch numbers get bigger. But eventually it's boring and your wrist is tired. Which is why I throw the 1,000-point party. Celebrating with a community is something I find very motivating. It's part of what helps me survive to each birthday. And hey, as you're watching this, I've almost certainly got the next 1,000-point party scheduled. So go to my website and look for more details on that. If you're interested, come party with us. It'll be great. Okay, listen, here's the big important thing. I made the writing games up for me, but I made them in the hope that they would be helpful to you as well. I really believe in creativity, and so I want to make the bar for it as low as possible. I want to make this easy. So if you've got a goal that you want to accomplish or something that you want to create, use the games, tweak them, make your own thing. If you want to collaborate, shoot me a DM or an email. I would love to share that with you. All of the details for each game and bonus round are available for download on my website. So if you're interested in tweaking these, using them, head over there. You could have them. In the meantime, I hope that you make something today. Have a great one.